I'm Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go Wednesday show, May 8th, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, nearly 65,000 subscribers on this platform. We say thank you. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you, Braylon Edwards.
Always a good afternoon when I get to join my man Ryan Ermanni and Tom Mazaway. Ryan, what happened at Fox today?
Man, we ain't getting into that. We had a little situation security-wise.
Whoa. Okay. It just came to mind just now.
So somebody told Braylon off air.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's a personal situation. We'll take it.
See, you got your hair done today. I see you got cleaned up
today. It's all good. You look good too.
I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to steal your thunder here, Lady James, man. Braids, they look pretty good, man. I like it, man.
Hey, and you know what? Just as a shameless plug here, for the first 2 years we worked here, you probably were a little skeptical.
This is true.
You know,
this is very true. As a black man, I wasn't getting my hair cut. Hair wasn't thinking about it, or wasn't getting my hair touched, but I got to say, they do a good job here. You come on in, ladies.
And now you haven't left.
It's wicked awesome, man. It is wicked awesome.
Tom Mazaway, it is good to be with you as well. I've not seen you in a couple of days. Our schedules haven't matched up exactly.
Good to be back, Ryan. Good to see you again. Looking forward to a big day today. We got some fun people coming in today.
We do have a big show for you today, including Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims. How about that? Two of the great Lions of all time. They've got some exciting things happening. Some exciting things happening with the Detroit Tigers that we'll get into. And, of course, we'll talk Lions football with them. You know, this is a big year for Jameson Williams.
You bet it is.
Absolutely. And, in fact, on ESPN.com, just this morning, they wrote as part of the Detroit Lions discussion, because they go around all the 32 teams, and one of the discussions was surrounding how big of a year this is for Jameson Williams. So we want to talk to Calvin about that. With Rob Sims, look, this team goes as the offensive line goes.
Yep.
And, you know, as you get up there in age with a Taylor Decker, with a Graham Glasgow, with a Frank Ragnow, you know, how quickly can those guys, kind of how much can they stay in this game for? As
I want to ask Rob about what he thinks of Giovanni Manu.
There you go.
Yeah, I want to see if Giovanni Manu can be a guy this year for the Lions. I know he's a project out of British Columbia, but I'm excited for that kid.
Seems like you guys got individual questions for them both. I have a question for the both of them. What the hell was Austin Rivers talking about when he said that 30 NBA players could play in the NFL? We don't have to talk about it now, but I can't wait to get my fellow brothers in arms thoughts on that.
It did spark a big topic. I mean, I saw McAfee talking about it today. Some of the other networks were talking about it today. And we've talked about it. You know, who is the best athlete in the world? Is it a football player? Is it a basketball player? Is it a hockey player? I don't think anybody would really say baseball player, because you can be, 250 pounds and,
unless you're talking about Deion Sanders.
Well, right.
Jackson.
I mean, you could be Bartolo Colon and, have a Hall of Fame career.
David Wells.
Sit there, drink a six-pack of beer before the game and get out there and throw a no-no.
John Kruk was one of my favorite baseball players, and he definitely wasn't the guy that was going to the weight room. I
think we have limited it to football and basketball players. We've had that conversation in the past.
We've had, and it's a fun conversation, but, we'll get them involved. But just my quick stance on it, football players are superior. It just is what it is. I mean, you look at a defensive back, a guy that has to legitimately cover a guy running 4-3 backwards and then break on the ball and then make plays. And, oh, by the way, he has to do that wearing pads, wearing cleats, wearing a helmet, things of that nature. I love basketball players. There are some that could play in the NFL. You look at a guy like Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards could have played in the NFL. 100%.
LeBron could have.
LeBron could have played in the NFL as well. Actually,
matter of fact, he plays football for basketball players.
He did early on.
Travels, runs into people.
He did early on. There are a few, hidden gems that can play probably on the NFL level. But to do what NFL players do, everybody has the same story as a basketball player. Man, I went out there, I got hit, and that was a wrap.
Right.
And then that was it. So I don't disrespect basketball players. Some of the stuff that they can do, we can't do. But as a whole, stop playing.
How about hockey players? Darren McCarty can wrestle.
This is true.
That is true.
He can fight,
That
and
is
they're on
true.
skates.
That is true.
Okay?
The end of the argument is this and this alone. We have Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders.
Yes, you do.
There's nothing else to talk about.
No
well,
doubt.
baseball's got him, too.
This is true, but baseball, just those two.
Speaking about those basketball, look, we could go any different direction with this. I have been absolutely glued to both the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs. They've been fantastic. The NBA playoffs, not very exciting last night.
No.
2 blowouts.
And we called them wrong. I called them both wrong.
Yeah, I did too.
Yesterday.
Oh, did you?
I like the Cavs yesterday.
No, not at all. Look, that was the easiest. A Game 7 winner going on the road and playing a Game 1 against a team that's been winning. I think
Well, the Bruins, they did it.
it's a completely different sport. It's a completely different sport. I just that was a Boston Celtics day.
I wish I would have gotten with you.
And it's just in OKC as well. I mean, OKC is a lot tougher than
I thought the rest
we give them
for
credit
OKC and Boston might make them a little rusty, and the other two teams come in hot. I took the hot teams.
You know what? I was trying to figure out why I like this NBA version right now better than I have liked it. Look, nobody was really watching the NBA into the play-in tournament. Then it got bad again. Then you got people complaining about the scores. 150 here. I think team last year scored 160, 170. These crazy numbers. It's like nobody's playing defense. I was wondering why I enjoyed these NBA playoffs, and I'm starting to realize because the refs aren't blowing. They're not calling.
Right. So
the refs aren't making calls. And then I looked at somebody was I want to say Colin Cowherd was talking about since the complaining, since the All-Star break, referees have tucked their whistles, and the numbers in terms of the average number per game has gone down tremendously. I didn't pay attention now to the playoffs. They're letting these guys play. I like it.
Here's what I like and I don't like about the NBA. I like that they're letting them play. I hate that they're letting them play because there's no consistency whatsoever. You've got these players getting absolutely mauled at the rim.
Jamal Murray, that's why he threw the heating pad.
That's
I thought
right.
you liked the Pistons.
Well,
I thought you liked the bad boy Pistons.
it's a different era. It's a different era, Maz.
But I kind of like it.
I do too, but let me finish my thought on this because I think this is the biggest problem with these NBA playoffs, and I'm sure you guys talked about this ad nauseum yesterday. You cannot have players getting mauled at the rim all game long and then call a ticky-tack foul on Miles Turner that is setting a screen in winning time. They robbed us of a big time moment. If you're an Indiana Pacers fan and they play tonight, and I wanted the Knicks to win, I want the Knicks to beat the Celtics. I want the Knicks to be in the finals. I think that's part of the reason why it's so exciting, these NBA playoffs, is because you're going to get a game in the Garden and that crowd, and you see all the stars and everything. But what Miles Turner got called for was horrific. When you compare it to how they let them play the whole game. So essentially, I think these officials have way more power now than they've had in the past because you could call anything a foul.
Yeah.
It's when you choose to eat your whistle and when you choose to blow the whistle. And that's the problem I have with these playoffs.
Look, at the end of that game, Miles Turner, Rick Carlisle, we talked about on the show, they go into the locker room, they take 4 or 5 minutes, Rick watches the tape back, Miles watches the tape back, they talk about it, Rick goes to the podium, and he says, look, we're not worried about the call, we're worried about how we played in that game. We didn't make enough plays to win the game. We'll get him in game 2. We'll figure it out. Same thing with Miles Turner. He comes in, says, I want to take the high road. He believed it was a call. Rick Carlisle, maybe not so much. If they're not complaining, I'm not complaining. I came on the show yesterday and said I would like it if they didn't make that call, but at the same time, I'm not complaining because it's not an exact science. And I think it's been a lot better than it has been in the past, especially better than football. But the one thing I did notice, too, the instant replaying and the going back and watching film, and it's starting to turn to the NFL a little bit. with all the replays in the booth. That part I don't like.
Yeah, and then there was another instance where you couldn't review they called a kick ball.
Right.
It was a clear steal. And you couldn't review that. Is it between that and that's the Knicks in Indiana the other night, which I don't want to recycle, but nonetheless, I think the officials now have too much power because they are, and you'll hear this, marginal contact. And Braylon, when you talk about the high scores of the NBA, they want these scores a little bit lower. That's where these words marginal contact have come into play. But the Celtics win last night by 25 points, and the Thunder win last night by 22 points. Dallas is an interesting team to me. I love Kyrie Irving. I love Luka Doncic, but they just don't play any defense whatsoever. And it's going to bite them in the end. It is like that run and shoot team in the NFL that can't stop anybody, can't stop a nosebleed, and they couldn't stop OKC last night. I don't think Cleveland has any chance against Boston. I think Boston played around a little bit in round one, and I think this is a sweep. I
want to get back to the Kyrie and Luka Doncic. I actually had a question for you, but just talking about Boston and Cleveland, I heard, and this is a thing, when you watch Jason Tatum, we asked, when is he going to step up? Is he going to make this his finals? Is he going to make this his playoff? Because he's been to the finals twice. He's lost twice. He's gotten to the Eastern Conference. He hasn't been able to be that celebrity or that star, that superstar like he is in the regular season. Last night he scores 18 points. Jaylen Brown, 32 points. And now this is, and I hear that, well, it's the first round, it's Cleveland, or it's the second round, it's Cleveland. Doesn't have to exert enough energy. They'll still beat them. They'll still get to where they want to be. So maybe he's saving it. Maz, he hasn't shown me enough to where I believe that he's saving it for the finals. Where is the Jason Tatum that they compare to? This is the next guy. This is the guy that's going to be the face. This is the guy, the Boston Celtics. This is the story team with the story. Where?
It's a team game.
But sometimes, Maz, your stars.
Jaylen Brown stood up for him, and they won by 25.
Maz, I understand that. But sometimes your stars got a star. Like, sometimes you need your star to drop 38 to remind you whose team it is.
You mean like Jalen Brunson?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who? That's another interesting question. I'll save that. But am I making it up?
No,
Ryan?
I think Jason Tatum has been a name that a lot of people wanted to be the next face of the NBA, and he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he's on a really great team. He doesn't have to. If Jalen Brunson doesn't score 40, the Knicks lose. If Jason Tatum scores 40, maybe Boston loses.
I understand that. I put it to you like this. When the Warriors were doing their thing, when the Warriors were cooking with grease in the prime stage of it, Maz, he had a great team. He had great players. But Steph was going to drop 50 every once in a while. Remind you what his team was. Steph was going to drop 43. Steph was going to have a playoff performance where
so was KD.
Before KD got there, Steph was doing that. Like, before KD even got there, Steph was doing that. Your stars got to have those moments from time to time. And I think Jason, he just doesn't attempt to have them.
In the 6 playoff games this playoff, he scored 23 points or less in 5 of them. Hasn't scored 30 points in any of them. Last night, 0 for 5 from
and they're 5-1.
downtown. And they are 5-1, and they just beat tail.
But the East this week, we understand that. My only question is he a person that you believe can turn it on? Like, I think that's the big question. You believe so?
I think he can because he's got that team to help bail him out. Like, I don't think he has the pressure that a Brunson has, that a Doncic has, that a Kyrie has, that an SGA has.
And sometimes you get those moments, and because you don't have that pressure, you're not used to.
But you could just let it fly too, because your team winning and losing isn't predicated based on really how well you play. Okay. When you can play free and easy.
Yeah. He was killing it early in the season. I mean, he was killing it the whole season, understandably so. But guess who was out there? It's Kristaps Porzingis. It's that 3-man slide. You brought up KD with the Warriors. It's the same thing. KD did what he did with the Warriors because he didn't have pressure. That's what he was all season with Kristaps. There's no pressure if you got Kristaps and Drew Holiday, Al Horford. I don't know how he's still going, but still going strong. Derek White's another great player. There's no Kristaps Porzingis right now. It's going to get interesting.
Only one game on the playoff schedule tonight in the NBA, and then 2 more tomorrow. But you have to wait until Friday to get the Nuggets and the Timberwolves in Game 3.
Yesterday we said bet the house on Denver in Game 3.
Really?
No. Maz said bet the house.
I did.
I told Maz, this seems like a Ryan and Monty type question. They lose in Game 1. You would think the reigning defending champs will come out strong in Game 2, correct? I thought Game 2 was a bet the house. Wrong. Wrong.
You don't think they're going down 3-0? The champions.
No, I don't.
So.
Okay.
But that's a big number. I'm just looking at it right now. It's a big number.
What's the number?
4.5.
They're getting 4.5?
Yeah.
Man,
They're getting 4.5 for a reason.
What's the money
too.
line?
I don't know.
Okay. Probably plus 150.
Hold on. Let me look while I'm here.
I told him yesterday, I said that Anthony Edwards and his Minnesota team, they have scared Denver. There's no way that a reigning defending champion with the guy that's about to win MVP for the 3 out of 4 years, Jokic is going to win tonight. There's no way you look like that. They look flustered. Jamal Murray is throwing things on the court. They can't play. They can't shoot. Jokic had 16 points 2 games ago.
Yeah.
What?
I would just for the story of it, like you play a series story out in your mind.
Yeah.
I could see Denver winning the next 2. You know what I mean?
They're in Minnesota.
I know. That's just for the story
Plus
of it.
165. That's a gift.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but I could see it. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, sometimes you just have to go with what you see on the floor. You know, and right now Minnesota has completely dominated Denver. Denver doesn't even belong on the same floor with them right now. And sometimes you just have to believe what your eyes are telling you. And maybe Minnesota is just that much better than Denver. And I was thinking about this during Game 2, actually. And another reason why the Lakers should have lost that play-in game to New Orleans was to let somebody else who matches up with Denver better beat them. It shocks me that they just didn't have it. And
I don't think they wanted to win. I think New Orleans just ran out of gas. They lost Zion Williamson and no one else showed up.
I don't know,
At the same time, it doesn't matter what the Lakers doing. If you're watching, you're talking about watch what you see on the court. If you're watching what the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing to this Denver Nuggets team, which is the same Denver Nuggets team that beat the Lakers 4-1, that Lakers team would have got popped by anybody in this West except the Phoenix Suns. I promise you that.
It would have been Lakers OKC.
And they would have got popped?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe. I think LA played Denver really hard.
They did.
They played
but maybe
them really
Denver's
hard.
not as good
maybe.
as we thought.
That's right.
LA was not cohesive enough to beat anybody. You look at Darvingham, you look at LeBron James, you look at the rift that they had. LeBron James not even in the meeting on the time during sideline timeouts. He's just in his own world. Just give me the ball. That wasn't gonna work. Then he's talking about his teammates at the end of the game. Talking, well, I mean, it just wouldn't work with the Lakers. I don't buy into it.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the one series that does happen. The one game that does play tonight. It is the Pacers at the Knicks.
Oh, that's beautiful. You like how they give them their own night?
I do. It's an 8:00 TNT game. Guess
who's going to be at that game?
Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller's getting flown in by TNT to be on that game. He was not scheduled to be on the series, and they're bringing him in. Because yesterday it was 22 years when he beat the Knicks and Spike Lee.
8 points in 30 seconds.
Yep.
I think the Pacers win tonight.
Probably.
I think this is going to be a long series. The Pacers are good. And the Knicks, I think, were one bad call away. Well, I shouldn't say bad call. It was a foul, but it could have gotten eaten. They were one whistle away from losing game 1.
Sixers could have took them to 7.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that. We saw those games. Every game, 1 point separated the two teams for the entire series.
And Mitchell Robinson out. With a left ankle injury.
He's out 6 weeks.
Yeah.
At least.
He's done. I mean, he's done.
Bray, how does that affect the Knicks?
It's going to be tough because he's a high-energy guy. He's a rebound guy. He's a guy that gives you presence out there. He's a guy that you can do pick and rolls with as well. So to have that guy out, tip dunks, things of that nature, it's going to be tough. It just makes it that much tougher for Jalen Brunson. Like, it makes it that much tougher for Thibodeau to call this game. It's going to be hard, man, because they don't have the size, which is one of the reasons why, you give them a lot of credit. They out-rebounded the Pacers in game 1, not even having the size. The Pacers are the much longer team. Meanwhile, the Knicks are the ones that dominated in the rebound category. But
Maybe they could borrow James Wiseman for the playoffs.
Nah, I think. But Brunson finds a way. Like Jalen Brunson and his team are finding a way. They're resorting back to what they did at Villanova. The Villanova 3, they're coming up big. But to your point, Pacers controlled the whole first game. Like the whole first game was controlled by the Pacers. They should have won that game. They blew some plays, and it came back to bite them. Brunson wins 43 points. But Pacers controlled the pace of that game. I like how they were at the podium, and they talked about, hey, look, shouldn't have made or they took the high road. They didn't say anything. They didn't whine about the call. I agree with you. I think the Pacers are locked and loaded.
I don't know who's responsible for James Dolan or not, but James Dolan gets beat up an awful lot by a lot of different people, media, former players, this, that, and the other thing. The Knicks are doing it right, man. When you put
How about the Rangers?
John Starks and
Bill Bradley.
No, John Starks, Stephon Marbury.
Yeah.
They were sitting next to each other on the. Stephon Marbury on the floor.
And you know, he lives in China.
Starks.
He doesn't even live over here anymore.
I didn't even know that. I forgot he was even alive.
He moved to China and said he would never come back in terms of live because he won like 3 championships or 4 championships. He has a statue.
No kidding.
In Beijing or right outside of Beijing, he has a statue. Like he's revered over there.
I bought his sneakers, from that Dave and Barry's store. Remember that Dave and Barry sports store?
Yeah, 100%.
Starberries.
They had one at Great Lakes Crossing too.
Yep.
But you've got Latrell Sprewell, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, going
Star power.
every night. It is so fun to see those former players in the building there every single night.
And then Walt Frazier's calling the game. Bill Bradley's there, former representative former senator.
Yeah.
He ran for president. Dollar Bill Bradley. Where's Phil Jackson? Bring Phil back.
I mean, you talk about it all the time, Ryan. Like these teams, you watch for certain reasons. Like when you're watching the Lakers in their heyday, whichever one of those you want to talk about, you're watching the court. You're seeing who's on there. You're seeing Jack and Denzel and Will Smith and maybe not Jada, and then same thing with New York. You're in New York. You're watching the stars. What actors are here? What movie stars are here? What entertainers are here? Jay-Z, Beyonce. It makes it more fun. It makes you tune in.
Maz, you brought up the Rangers. Did you see the near Heidi moment last night?
I was watching it.
I was watching it live.
Lily and I were watching it. We were like, what the hell? What did they do?
I couldn't believe it.
They switched to the Dallas Stars Colorado game for about 30 seconds.
With 50 seconds left in the game.
Yes.
And the Rangers on the rush.
Tie game. They're on a power play.
And so what happened last night, and if you don't know what the Heidi game is, Maz, explain it. 1968, NBC, Raiders and Jets, right?
Raiders and Jets. Jets are leading.
First Monday Night Football game ever, right?
No, it wasn't Monday night. It was a Sunday afternoon. And Heidi, this movie, was supposed to air at 7 o'clock on NBC. Back then, you didn't watch the full game at 7 o'clock. If it wasn't over, you were done. So the Jets and the Raiders Jets are leading with about a minute to go.
1 minute to go, yep.
Minute to go. Oakland scores 2 touchdowns in the last 40 seconds to win the game. At 7 o'clock in New York, the TVs went to Heidi. And the Jet fans were like, what the hell is going on here? And they flooded the NBC studios with calls. Back then, all you can do is call the switchboard. And the switchboard operators were going absolutely crazy. But the Jet fans missed the end of that game. The Raider fans got to see it on the West Coast, but the New York fans did not see the end of that game, called the Heidi game.
So what happened last night during the Rangers game, if you didn't see it, the Dallas Stars Colorado Avalanche game is supposed to start at 10 o'clock. In the right-hand corner of the screen, it says Dallas, it's a little score box, will start on ESPNU. At 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock and 50 seconds to go in a 3-3 hockey game, and the Rangers on the rush, it flips to the Stars and the Avalanche. And you're like, what? What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah. Someone pulled a switch.
And then it comes back, and like it was, 20
Who's
seconds
in trouble
left.
for that?
Right. I mean, somebody is getting in trouble with that. But
they were putting up today. I saw the Soprano endings.
Yeah.
This is how ESPN shows a hockey game, and they put the Sopranos ending up.
That is so funny,
Black
man.
screen.
That is so funny. The Rangers haven't lost in the playoffs.
No, they have not.
6-0.
They look great. The fans are absolutely bonkers, man.
Speaking of having lost in the playoffs, the Minnesota Timberwolves have not lost in the playoffs yet. They are 6-0, perfect score, Anthony Edwards. Here's a question. You got two guys operating at the highest levels right now, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards. Who's the best between those right now? Who's more impressive in their playoff run right now? Is it Anthony Edwards or is it Jalen Brunson?
I think there's no doubt it's Jalen Brunson. I mean, he scores 40 a night, and
right.
His team, I don't believe, is as talented as Anthony Edwards. I would rather Anthony Edwards on my team.
Right.
But if your question is who has the best playoff run right now through 6-7 games, I would say it's Jalen Brunson without a doubt.
I would have said that same exact thing. And hell, I still may say that same exact thing, but hearing it a certain way made me think. Anthony Edwards, 6-0 in the playoffs right now. Granted, he has a good team. He has Cat Williams, who's a fellow All-Star. But they haven't lost. He just beat KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, swept them. Then he goes into the fight, the reigning, defending NBA champ with Jokic, who's about to be the third-time MVP. And they're up 2-0 on them, and they beat them at home to do it.
I mean, it's like trying to pick favorite children.
Yeah.
You really
depends on the day.
It depends on the day, and I think what Anthony Edwards has done so far through these playoffs has really kind of shined a light on how good this young man can be. Braylon, he's 22 years old, and he's getting this done, and people are talking about Anthony Edwards like he's the next Michael Jordan, and he's you're comparing what Anthony Edwards is doing to what Michael Jordan did at 22. That is a remarkable comparison to make, and the young man is doing everything that is possible.
It's the best thing about the comparison. Obviously, he's not Michael Jordan. He even came out and said, "I'm not Michael. He's the greatest of all time. Stop comparing me." But he gets better. Like, the whole season, like, if you pay attention to where he started the season to where he is now, he's a better player now than he was in October. He's a better player here in May than he was in April, than he was in March. He's getting better. And also, like Jalen Brunson, he gets better as the game goes on. Like, he's there in the first, the second, the third, fourth, and he's playing both sides of the court. Like, he definitely is a guy that's a student of the game. You can tell he works on his game. You can tell he works on his craft, puts a lot of time in the gym.
If you look at what Jalen Brunson has done, though, if you look – He's scored 41 points or more
5 times
in the last 4 games. 43, 41, 40, 47, 39. This dude's incredible.
Yeah, he's doing something.
Carrying an entire city. He's carrying an entire team.
He's doing something only Michael Jordan and Bernard King have done. Yeah, it is special. It is amazing. He has to do that. They have nobody. They have no Julius Randle. Josh Hart is the second leading scorer for them. Josh Hart would be a 5 on most people's team, or a 6 come off the bench. So he's hot right now. He's cooking with grease. And, I mean, the greatest thing is you wouldn't think he could do it.
Right.
Like, the story is the best part of the Jalen Brunson situation, speaking of stories. Second-round draft pick. Like, you didn't think this was going to be Jalen Brunson. You pretty much thought after Dallas, all right, he'll probably go to the Knicks. It's another Knicks flame out. It won't work. Man, he's proving everybody's wrong. He's just dialed in. He's a guy that you would have lead your team.
You make an interesting point, Bray. You talk about Jalen Brunson being a second-round pick. Nikola Jokic is a second-round pick.
Yeah.
You look at those two players, obviously Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, both number 1 overall picks. But even Tyrese Halliburton, who's leading the Indiana Pacers right now.
He's got to show up for them.
What's he, a number – was he 8, 12? I can't
7.
remember where he was.
Because we passed him to draft Killian Hayes, so he was maybe 8 or 9.
8 or 9, yeah. Somewhere in that range. And
he's got to show up if they want to win, Ryan.
Well, I agree. I was just more thinking about the fact that if you can get your scouting right, you don't need to have a number 1 overall selection. Luka is not a number 1 overall pick.
Luka
was he 2?
I think it was 2 because they swapped picks. It was I'm about to say Trey Lance.
He was 4.
4. Okay, so
yeah.
Trey Young. Yeah. Trey Young. Okay.
What do you think Atlanta's saying about that right now?
SHIT. SHIT.
Hey, the kids at home can spell, Braylon.
But I didn't say it out loud.
Right.
Also, too, like Trey Young. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Calvin Johnson, Rob Sims be in the house. But first, a message from Swiss.
That's right, everybody. Now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier does not slip in extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com. Over to Bray.
Tell you every day, you got to get in shape. You want to get in shape, you want to look good for the summer, you got to do it at Planet Fitness, because your fitness is essential. Only $10 a month, home of the squeaky clean gym. It's time to get in shape. It's time to rock and roll. And also, you don't even have to come up with your own system. They got the 30-minute total body workout right there in the middle. As soon as you get in there, all you got to do is show up, start lifting, get right. Planet Fitness.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, looking for a new car, pre-owned car? Les Stanford has the product for you. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust, located on Woodward in the great city of Ferndale, just south of 9 Mile. For more, check out lesstanford.com. All 4 GM brands under one umbrella now. Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, lesstanford.com, lesstanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And you can drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. You could walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. Wicked. It is always a pleasure to be joined in studio with these two men who need no introduction. The Hall of Famer himself, Calvin Johnson, and Rob Sims, partners together with Primitiv Performance. You guys have so much going on. Thank you so much for being here, fellas.
No, man, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Good.
Big time. I had to wear my Puma Fences today. Give me a couple extra inches. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, when we heard a couple of weeks ago that you guys now partnering with Comerica Park and the Detroit Tigers, I mean, the partnership with Ford Field, this thing is moving along at a rapid pace. When you guys started business together, did you imagine this where you would be right now with these partnerships and with everybody getting on board with it?
I mean, when it first started, probably not. But, as we formulated a vision, through time as the business started, this is where we wanted to be. We wanted to set ourselves up to be able to be in a position where we could be able to have those conversations with the corporations and the leagues that we're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we first started out, we thought it was possible. Didn't think we'd be here this soon. And it's really cool, man. We really built the brand to be something that could break through barriers, and it's starting to do that, man. So it's great to see that.
I think the education of it too, with you two guys putting your names on it, I think for a lot of people that may have had some sort of preconceived notion of what they think, cannabis is or what CBD is or anything like that, I think it kind of breaks down some barriers and some levels of that too, and they allow people to be educated about the benefits of what you guys are doing.
I mean, the platform, allows for penetration into the market at the end of the day. So that allows for that message to be able to get out there. And if we can simplify that message, the better.
I appreciate you guys. I tell you this all the time, man. Proud, fellow NFL player, fellow brother in arms, and to see what you guys are doing. It's great for other players to do it. And I think it's also great that guys are seeing it while they're still playing so that they can leverage their teams while they're playing. You know how it is, like when you're done, you're done. It's a little bit harder. I mean, unless you're going to the Hall of Fame like this brother over here. But glad to see it. Looking back at the journey, what has been the hardest part so far? And then maybe if it's still going on, it's now. What has been the hardest part in the journey?
Man, I think when you come into an industry that has that the industry is new, the rules are new, building the actual business is new. The people that are coming in and who are the experts in that business or have experience in that business are new to that style of business. So I think it's been really just finding our place and our niche, and really sticking to our gun and say, hey, look, this is what we do. And along with bringing a lot of those things that we learned in the league, right, and really shaping up a company we could be proud of, and a company that's got some great legs to it,
With the city coming back, I don't want to take up all the questions, but it just kind of hit me. With a city that's coming back in Detroit, you see the Hudson building, you see the Lions, you see the moving and shaking downtown. Like getting in with the Tigers, has it made a bit easier to penetrate downtown Detroit as it relates to some corporations and things of that nature?
It's a good time for the city. It's a good time for, I guess you could say, new things, and then cannabis and not necessarily cannabis, but when we were talking about the minor cannabinoids, the CBD, CBG, CBN, and CBC, and how those things come together and create that great anti-inflammatory product. Timing-wise, I think it's great timing.
Hey, guys, this is a topical solution. So this is something that you could put on an ache and pain, and it's going to go right in there. It's going to help. You get stuff over the counter, but this stuff's going to be a little bit better, I would think, a little bit more quickly acting.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about what we've done here is like we combined our former world in football and how we deal with pain management and our current world, right, and fuse those together. So, not only are you getting a CBD product, but you're getting a CBD product that we would use when we were playing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's got a PLO base along with the other minor cannabinoids we were talking about. And we just really focused on being anti-inflammatory and putting those properties into it. So the group SIP that helped us put this together, man, we really thought they were forward thinking in what they were doing. And, the outcome is beautiful, man. We think we got something that's really special that can compete, with topicals in general, just not CBD things. So we think it's some of the future.
And a big differentiator is when we talk about the technology. It's pharmaceutical grade technology. We're using nanoparticles, and what that does is it allows it to penetrate our systems, getting through the intestinal system, getting into the bloodstream, making it more bioavailable for the user, and in the end, more efficacious.
And you talk about the user, Calvin. You do not have to be a professional athlete to see the benefits. I mean, this is for people like Tom Mazaway, who pulls a hamstring walking out of his car, stepping out of his car, waking up in the morning, getting out of his bed.
I got a bad elbow right now.
Rob said it, man. We use it. We made it with us in mind, professional athlete in mind, but it's for everybody. Anybody with those everyday bumps and bruises, any kind of inflation, use it.
Why'd you have to make me as the...
well, I was going to say me, but I thought you'd be a little bit bigger of a punching bag.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
But again, anybody with experience, it's all about recovery. And, I think back to when you guys are players, and I was never a player, although I never came out of the game in high school. I was a very good high school player, I'll have you know. Sorry, that's Braylon
okay.
hears that stuff.
That's all right.
But I got to rock with you, my guy.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Bray. Sure. If you guys had something like this available to you when you were a player, I think of all these documentaries that I see with former players and all the pills that they pop just to get through the day,
livers and kidneys,
and it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, do you think about that person as well when you have this product like this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. My father played in the NFL, so I heard stories of a generation even before ours about, what different remedies they would use to be ready to play on the field. You know what I mean? And,
beer.
we would hear those things now and think they were nuts, but that's how they cope, right? So now, for us, I just think if we had this product that was fast acting, you know what I mean? Those 17 train wrecks that you got to go through a year, you know what I mean? I think that would definitely benefit us.
When will all the sports, the main bodies of all these sports, the NHL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, NFL, when will they all accept everything and just let it be legal?
I mean, you always have this effect where everybody's looking at each other and seeing what happens. Obviously, the NFL seems to be always to be the last one, and for the NFL, this is technically like a bargaining chip for the owners, the players. At the end of the day, that's at the end of the day, it's business.
Yeah.
But for some of these, I mean, NFL, what's the MLB's in, NBA, I believe, is in. Correct me if I'm wrong. What other league is in?
You think
NHL?
Soccer?
I think soccer.
Yeah, soccer's in.
I think soccer is in.
But it's just a snowball effect.
Yeah,
it's just the beginning.
And you think about a pitcher in baseball too. Can you imagine, like,
he a little arm,
right? You know,
a little relief for
right,
sure.
A little bit of relief. There's no doubt about it. Primitive
bit of relief.
Primitiveperformance.com is the website if you want to check it out. Calvin Johnson, Rob Sims in the house. Fellas, it's so great to be with you. And I know we want to talk a little bit about some football as well, but Bray, you had one more you wanted to talk about?
No, I wanted to ask a question. You know what I want to ask?
Oh, go ahead, man.
Did you guys see what Austin Rivers said?
So I had a comment earlier today.
Let's talk about
it's just laughable, we just passed through it, But I was talking with Chris Canty earlier today.
Okay.
And we looked at it and we just laughed about it.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, it's not the same. It's not the same. They don't have to get up off the ground and grind. I mean, they play a lot of games.
A lot of love.
It's a whole different, 100% respect the grind. And it might not have came off like that when I said it earlier today. It was laughable
you feel
to
the type of way.
It's laughable because it's just the way we got to harden our bodies.
So what did he say, actually? Tell in case someone doesn't know what
Austin Rivers said that 30 players in the NBA right now could play in the NFL, but there are not 30 players in the NFL that could play in the NBA. Although he may be correct about that, there's no way there's 30 players in the NBA that could play in the NFL. I know two. LeBron James in his prime and Anthony Edwards.
And it was a little bit more. It was a little bit more offensive than that, Bray. It was. I could name 30 players right now off the top of my head.
It was the ease in which the comment came out of my head. Like, oh yeah, you're like whoa, Austin.
But what they're seeing is a different NFL too. Than what we played in. The rules are a little different.
This is true.
Little bit. It's not. It's a little bit. It's not.
Hands off.
We see it like today. We was like, how they just be
1,700
yards after 5 yards contact, all that. I was like, that could have been useful back in the day. We could have used that.
Look, the basketball, some of the best athletes in the world. You give them a lot of credit, but everybody. And I said this on the air. Two things in this argument. One, every basketball player has that story. It was like, look, man, I went up for a pass, got hit, and I went to the basketball court. And the other thing about it, we got Bo. We got Dion. It's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about.
You talk about the new rules in the NFL. Were you guys surprised? Obviously, NFL draft a couple of weeks ago, 14 players in a row in the first round taking on offense. 22 players, I believe. Actually, it's more than 22 players. An NFL
25?
record, 25 players taking from the offensive side of the ball.
Makes sense.
It is just an offensive league now. These defenders are crippled.
Yeah, exactly what we're saying. They're making it a lot easier for the guys on offense. So why not? You got to pour into it.
My goodness. What do you guys make of where the Lions are this year? A lot of people believe they are Super Bowl favorites in the NFC. I mean, the favorite in the NFC, just how far this organization has come.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good about, what they've done, especially in the draft and the offseason. If I look back on when we played, we had star power, we had good offense, we had upcoming defense, but we just didn't hit in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell the way they're drafting, they're really intentional about the picks. And they're looking way down the road, right? They're bringing in projects in the third round that they're looking and saying, man, we got this great offensive line that, we spend a lot of money on. That's going to be able to, this guy's going to be able to fit right in. So you see them making those strategic plays. So I mean, they're building for the long haul, man. Just not trying to get to Super Bowl this year. So, I think we got a lot of years of fun football in front of us.
How about that kid you were just talking about? 6'8", 350 pounds from British Columbia. He's going to play offensive line.
You can't coach that. You can't coach that size, man. That guy, he wakes up with something special every day. You know what I mean? and to be in the room, I just think about him being in the room with Panay.
Yeah.
And you got this guy that is larger than life offensive tackle that's going to be special, and this kid's going to be able to learn from him. So it's going to be great.
Fantastic.
Speaking of Panay, you guys play the two positions. I'm going to ask a question about how do you feel in terms of Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, the front office, paying their guys when they deserve it, so you don't have to waste time with the back and forth. I know you yourself experience things of that nature. Just talk about what that does to players on the team.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, that the team is all in on you. They're invested on you. When you feel that, when they're all in on you, then it's hard for you not to be all in, especially with the way this organization is designed. Well, obviously, with Brad making moves and doing his thing with his history, and then obviously the player coach and Dan Campbell and what he surrounded himself with.
I saw the Amon-Ra St. Brown deal. I was like, good for him. And then he back in this.
No, you actually hated it. You were like, why couldn't I play now?
But you know what? There's only two wide receivers I've ever hated on. Like, I don't hate on anybody's money. I don't count anybody's chicken. But when I saw Christian Kirk at 24.5, and I saw a guy that used to play here go to New York and get $21 million.
Kenny Galladay.
What?
He's not even in the league anymore.
I digress.
Hey, Rob, I want to ask you an offensive line question. When you look at these guys, what are some of these guys going through? Like, whether it's Frank Ragnow or Taylor Decker or Zeitler, guys that are, getting closer to the end than to the beginning, especially now in the summer. Everybody thinks it's, you just show up to the game and play. This is where the work's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. Yeah. Like, what are those guys going through when do they say, you know what, how much longer do I want to do this?
Yeah, I think you saw it with, Jason Kelsey was like a great representation of a guy, a warrior that had gone and done everything you can do at offensive line. And he was just like, this might be it. Mm-hmm. We all kind of saw that. These guys are not there yet. I think they still got some strong years ahead of them, but that knee is hurting right now.
Right.
Right. Them shoulders is hurting right now. Are you wondering, April, May, hey, why isn't this feeling better like it used to? Right. And man, I'm a couple months away when I got to go back into it where I won't feel a certain way. So that's a mental grind, when they feel like that. But like I said, man, when you got the other guys, you can kind of pull that energy out of, and you got Pro Bowlers and all-world players up there, man. So it's a different feel when you got that kind of room.
Okay, I got to ask you another wide receiver question. Without trying to get you in trouble, what does number 9 need to be working on this offseason so that he can come to the table and put himself in the best position to have success? This is year 3 for Jameson Williams. We know what happened in year 1. He was coming off the ACL injury. We know what happened in year 2. What does he need to be working on so that the Lions can get the best out of him?
Man, his availability. And I think when I say availability, it's really just hardening his body so that he's ready to go for 17 games. Obviously, that's hard to play a full season, but making sure your body is ready to go because things are going to come together for him. He's got to be on the field. The kid can make plays. Yeah. We can maneuver and coach little things.
That NFC Championship game.
Yeah, we can get those little bit things out and make sure he focuses here and there. Those are day-by-day things that we get. But as long as he's there for us throughout the season, as long as his body is available and ready to endure the season, we're going to be all right. As long as he's available, as long as my guys are available, I have confidence that they're going to make the plays.
Boy, you're getting passionate over there about the Lions.
Be coaching.
Be jacked up over there.
About the loss of Josh Reynolds, a guy that was terrific for the Lions for the 2 years that he was here with Jared Goff. He made Jared Goff feel at home, come over from the Rams, former teammate. And then we know what happened. He had a bad game in the NFC Championship. They didn't re-sign him. He wanted a little bit more money than they wanted to give him. What's your take on his loss, Donovan Peoples-Jones being here? They got an undrafted free agent from Illinois that they brought in. What's your take on the wide receiver position going forward?
We definitely have our 1 and 2 solid. We got to get that third one solidified. Hopefully, Peoples-Jones can be that big playmaker that comes in like Reynolds did. Always just Mr. Consistent. Yeah. When we need him. Obviously, he had the tough game there at the end. And a lot. I'm sure. If those plays are made, that obviously those conversations go a lot differently. But it's just unfortunate that the timing of that. But I fully believe that Peoples-Jones being back at home in his backyard. Hopefully that gives him a little energy to go out here and make some moves.
What do you think the biggest challenge for the Detroit Lions will be this year is. You know, I think for a lot of us, they made it to the NFC Championship game last year, and you just automatically assume, well, they're going to get back there next year and maybe even beyond. How difficult is it to really take things in front of you? And what do you think some of those guys are thinking about right now in their biggest challenge this year?
The biggest thing is not to be thinking about the Super Bowl and the playoffs right now, right? It needs to be a one-step process. It's a process to get there. And even though, you know, the city can be excited and have high hopes, those guys need to be like, you know, obsessed about the actual work and the day-to-day work that it's going to take, right? We always like not on our company when we're playing, it's always about like keep stacking, right? They got to keep stacking those good days on top of good days. And there's gonna be a lot of us that's gonna be patting them on the back and saying how great they are. But you know, it's a new season. Regardless, man, they got to go climb the mountain again. So they got to tool back up.
Is that kind of like that intentional drafting that you were talking about? You have to find guys that are willing to think like that, work like that, and that's what they've been doing over the course of the last several years.
I mean, the new guys when they come in, they're still wide-eyed. I mean, even if they came off a championship team, they're still wide-eyed looking for the leadership in the room, and hopefully that leadership isn't like you say, like Rob was saying, you know, living off of the year before. Hopefully they're looking back and it's like, dang, I could have did this better. I could have did this better, and start working on those things on a day-to-day basis so that when they come to those moments in the game, it's automatic.
What'd you guys think of? I'm sorry, Bray.
go ahead,
What'd you guys think of the NFL draft here in Detroit? I mean,
stole my question.
did we knock it out? Hey, you stole my Jameson Williams, but I'm stealing this one.
Man, I tell you, I thought it was great on a lot of different levels. The biggest level for me is like, you know, when I first got here, you know, that Campus Marshes area and that Woodward area, that wasn't there. It wasn't like that, you know.
Say that again.
So,
I'm from
now,
here.
you know, and I look 13, 14 years later and what that's turned into. Like, this was a way we got to pull the curtain back and people to see what the new Detroit looked like. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was the coolest part about it, right? So now that stereotype, like it is in our business, right? You start to break down that barrier or those stigmas of what your city is, and more and more stuff comes, you know, and it gets better and better from there.
Guys, you know, I saw you got a chance to go on stage on Thursday night, the opening night. You got a chance to go out there. I was there on Friday night, got a chance to go across that stage. Isn't it crazy how things come full circle? Like, how was that experience being back, you know, being on the stage again, if you will, and saying for myself?
It's crazy, man. Just from so being on the stage in New York, you know, obviously it's changed cities and all that now. But being on stage and coming here to Detroit, driving downtown, seeing the city then, you know, burnt down buildings, skyscrapers with blown out windows. You know, it wasn't the murder capital, just maybe not too long before. You know, but fast forward 17 years and the investment in the city, all the people that have come and put money into this town, and like the sports teams are on the up and up. And seeing the draft come back and the beauty of our city, and now like the report card we're getting now is an A from the draft, or just from our city, not necessarily from the draft.
Right.
But and then, you know, the fact of being on stage, just seeing, I didn't know it was Campus Marshes. I didn't know where I was in Detroit because all I saw is 275,000 people. You know, so it was amazing. It was quite an event. I never would have imagined, you know, Detroit having such an event.
I mean, really, the Lion fans, they showed out. They did. We all knew what the Lion fans were. I don't think the nation really knew what the Lions fans were until the last couple of years, because the Lions own the road.
I think that
they're on the road.
Stuff is over.
They're on the road, man. You see the blue in the stands. Yep. You hear the Jared Goff chants after they pick Caleb Williams. They're yelling Jared Goff. They're walking out of the place at 11 o'clock at night doing a Lion fight song. And then when they make their pick, the roar that went up is just – I got the chills just thinking about it.
Well, it's funny you talk about getting drafted to Detroit 17 years ago or whatever. Even Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't know if you heard this from a couple of days ago. He said, yeah, when I got drafted to Detroit, you think you're going someplace to die. You know what I mean? Not literally, but career-wise. Career-wise. You know, you're not excited to play for the Detroit Lions franchise. But now these guys want to play for the Lions. That's just 4 years. You know what I mean? That's just the mindset of going to a place for career suicide and then going to a place now where people believe is a favorite to win the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl. That's a hell of a turnaround, you know?
Absolutely.
The thing I love about it is, you know, growing up, Unless you got a Joe Dumars who and Isaiah Thomas invested, got companies, started companies, and they stayed. Most people, when their career was over, they were leaving Detroit. Like, I remember going to other cities and just like walking into, insert NFL player, NBA player, artist here, because they stay in those cities, those big markets. But seeing like guys like yourself, stay in the city, reinvest in the city, that's where the city can start winning. When you get the players, you get the people who reinvest in the city. I love it.
Guys, I know we got to get you out of here. A final note on Primitiv.
Only 10 more questions.
What's next for you guys? I mean, it is the growth of your company and the success of your company and the partnerships, again, with Ford Field and the Detroit Tigers. Do you guys have skull session meetings? Okay, what can we do next? I mean, it just seems like the growth is on such a rise.
I mean, sky's the limit. Like Calvin said, it's really about just starting to open the door, and then you can kick the door down and go run through it, So I think you'll see, other teams eventually. And as we continue to keep breaking down the barriers, I mean, you're going to see us in more and more places. There's no place that product can't go. That's the thing about it. We built it for that. We built the branding for that so that it could be in a place where children are walking by, right? And grandma could go pick it up and want to get it. So that's all been intentional, man. So it's sky's the limit.
It's awesome.
But creating a suite of products, man. Being able to come out with a suite of products, along in the same Primitiv Performance line, that's what's exciting, and like Rob said, kicking down doors and being able to create more partnerships, obviously in the professional sports realm, collegiate realm. It's so many tentacles that we have from this business, and there's new things that pop up every day. But we're focused on what we're trying to do right here, and opportunities will come as they may.
It's awesome.
Hey, look, I got the last one for you, Calvin, and it still sticks with me to this day. They don't know what a catch is, really, still to this day.
I don't know what a catch is.
I can't get the Bears game out of my head. I can't get the Des Bryant game against the Green Bay in the playoffs after they ripped us off the week prior to that.
He's not lying to you, by the way. He literally can't get it out of his
head. That's a catch. But am I wrong? Is that not a catch? What you did?
Get why you can't get it out your head, because that started off the season on the wrong foot, and it just cascaded. They just went hard, right, left, or whatever. So man, you ain't the only one. I try to forget it, and then you mention it.
I still have nightmares.
I'm sorry, but that's a catch.
Think about the bus ride home,
right there.
I'm done.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. All the best. We are your biggest fans. Thank you so much, and we invite everybody to check out PrimitivePerformance.com. PrimitivePerformance.com on the internet. Check out all their great products and get some help, get some relief. Calvin Johnson, Rob Sims, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take a break, but first, a message from us here at WSN.
Head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and pick yourself up some of the latest sports merchandise. You can get all the hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Again, head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and load up on some new Detroit sports wearables. We'll be right back.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Roki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan, and now the Nashville Hot is back. But remember, it is limited time only. The pizza is fire, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Had that the other day. Not too shabby. But they also have the fries, the chicken sandwich, and the chicken tenders. Remember, you don't have to get it hot. You can just get the crispy chicken. That's what they're known for. Fresh sides and salads. This place is taking over. I'm seeing them pop all around the metropolitan area. Pull up on them. Nashville Hot. Limited time.
It's always great to have Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims in the house. And, Calvin's still in the building taking pictures with everybody. What a great guy he is.
Yeah, they're both great dudes.
Absolutely. Both great guys. But Calvin is, in my view right now, taking pictures with all the employees at Lady Jane's and Birmingham Roast and Woodward Sports here and everything like that.
But that's why it's no surprise that they have success.
Right.
They're good guys. I've had a chance to get to know Rob over the past 4 or 5 years, golf seasons, if you will, and then Calvin I've known kind of since we played. But it's crazy because you see the progression of when Primitiv first started to when he first got into the business to now. They're doing tremendous jobs. I know they were peers, but definitely proud of those guys.
No doubt about it. And in honor of those guys being here, let's talk about those Detroit Lions. Lions rookie minicamp begins this Friday, just a couple of days from now. And Braylon, for those people that don't know what will happen during a rookie minicamp, is it a lot of field stuff? Is it a lot of classroom stuff? What will those rookies go through?
It's a mixture of both. This is when you kind of got to earn your stripes. This is when you try to tell people why you deserve to be here, whether you're the first round draft pick or whether you're undrafted. This is when you endear yourself to the coaching staff. This is where you get that kind of one-on-one time. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities to have that one-on-one time once the veteran guys get there, once OTAs start, once minicamp starts. But this is when you get in, you talk to coaches, you watch the film, you get the technique. Also, you're going against each other. You got wide receivers going against DBs of that nature, one-on-one drills, lifting weights. This is when you want to kind of show that you appreciate the opportunity. Because I don't care, like I said, if you go third overall like Calvin, like myself, or if you're undrafted, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity that a franchise gave you to make their squad and make a difference and earn pretty good living doing it. So you want to show that you're ready for the opportunity.
And for those people that haven't been drafted, there's a number of undrafted rookie free agents that this team has, and many around the league as well. Every opportunity that you get to put something on film, is an opportunity not only for the Detroit Lions, but an opportunity for the other 31 teams in the league as well. You want to make that mark.
Yeah, 100%. Like at the end of the day, you're at the dance. That's what they say all the time on American Idol. That's Lionel Richie always tells the contestants, you're at the dance. You made it to the dance. It doesn't matter if you're in the first round. How many stories do we have? You didn't have to be a first round. Rob wasn't a first round draft pick. Had a damn good career here with the Detroit Lions. You look at Kurt Warner. Yeah, the list goes on. Look at Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. He just got paid like Johnny Kemp. So at the end of the day, doesn't matter. Once you get an opportunity to put someone on that film, like you said, you got to go out there and show them who you are.
Lions always trying to get better, and one of the guys out there that could be a player that this team would have some interest in is Braylon Burks, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. He is available, I believe, on the market right now. Titans wide receiver core looks pretty good. It's a guy that was intriguing during the draft a couple of years ago, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. You know this better than anybody. Sometimes the team that picks you, it doesn't work out, and you need a fresh start somewhere else. It feels like Braylon Burks could be that guy that needs a new scenery.
Yeah, he definitely needs a new scenery. The Detroit Lions, I wouldn't pick him up. And the reason why, you know how San Francisco does it the right way? They've missed on draft picks.
Right.
They're just like any other franchise. They missed on Solomon. They missed on Trey Lance. There's some other guys that they missed on, but they don't stay on them for long. They move on. They got rid of Trey Lance 2 seasons ago. That's the same thing I think you're seeing with the Tennessee Titans. When somebody's getting rid of a player that was drafted in the first round that soon, he was right. This is what, 3rd season?
Yeah.
This is his 3rd season, and the Tennessee Titans are basically telling you he's not it. I think that's what makes San Francisco really good, and in this situation, I think that's what it might be. He just did not look the part, and like you said, he needs a new start. In Detroit, nah.
We've seen a lot of teams. I think when you talk about new NFL versus old NFL, it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you make, where you were picked. If you can't play, teams are more than happy to move on from you. They're not waiting anymore. If you look at San Francisco with Trey Lance, look at the Jets with Zach Wilson. Look at, and it's not just quarterbacks either. Who is the wide receiver? Kadarius Toney from the Giants. Former 1st-round pick that's with the Chiefs right now.
As you hear Maz, a New York Giants fan talking about. But that's because contracts aren't long anymore, Ryan. When I was playing, 7-year deals are what they were doing. Like my rookie year deal, Maz, was a 6-year deal. And that was a brand new thing. The 6-year deal was new. It was 7 years before that, 10 years before that. You had to be patient with the guy because you had him for so long. Now, guys are getting 5-year deals, option after 4, 3-year extension. You don't have to get guys. I mean, you have to keep guys. And the owners have way more money. The cap is much, much bigger. So if you don't like a guy, look, he's not it. We've seen enough. Let's move on. It doesn't take a lot to know that a guy is not a guy. You get 2 years, you've seen enough.
Hi. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be back.
I wanted to move on to this because
Tigers are winning, by the way.
Yeah, good. It doesn't mean anything if you're not watching this live.
I know.
I was anticipating an NFL schedule release tomorrow.
I know.
I think that they don't know how to do this schedule.
Nope.
Because of all of the different days now that have been added to the NFL schedule. I really believe that's why they need like an extra week, or they needed extra time to prepare this league schedule. And the Adam Schefter NFL teams were informed today, this was yesterday, that the regular season schedule is expected to be released next Wednesday by one of the reporters from the Sports Business Journal. And now Netflix is being rumored to be the Friday home.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, that's what it is.
Yeah. The Christmas package, Netflix.
They are so confused by international games, Friday games, Thursday games, holiday games, Christmas games, Black Friday games.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that goes into this schedule than ever before.
It's funny that you say Netflix. I was watching during COVID, or maybe it's right after COVID, the Bill Gates deal that was on Netflix. It was a 4-part story about his life, early upbringing. One of the things he did to make money when he was in college, before he obviously helped create Microsoft, was he developed schedules for a college out in Seattle. I don't know what school it was, but they couldn't figure out the algorithm of how to put the class schedule together. So it took him and his boys, Paul, rest in peace, Paul Allen.
Oh, yeah.
It took them literally 2 weeks to craft the schedule. And these two men are geniuses in that. You're talking about now trying to figure out a schedule. It's another game. It's another day of the week. It's all these holiday seasons. It's foreign travel, all different streaming services. Streaming. You know how much that guy gets paid, or that group that puts together that schedule? They can't figure it out because you keep dropping these bombs on them.
Concerts are going to be played at venues. You got to watch what venues are taken. Who else? What other teams are in the city at the same time? It's amazing what goes into making a schedule.
That's a $20 million job. That's a $20 million job coming up with that schedule.
Well, it's very hard. And then, it is basically a script. It is a television script. And last year, more than any other time, I think that script played out exactly as it was playing. There was a big game every week. Primetime game. I mean, even to the point, remember when we were talking about Green Bay? How in the hell does Green Bay have 5 primetime games?
Yep.
And then ultimately you're like, oh my God, yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And, it was wild how that thing worked out. So we'll get that. I made a mock schedule, actually.
I thought that was pretty good.
I did.
I didn't like your Thanksgiving Day game.
Well,
you went back to Buffalo.
I did go back to Buffalo, but the reason why I went back to Buffalo is because who was I going to?
Well, what other AFC teams are coming here?
Jacksonville, Houston.
There you go.
Houston. No, I think let me hold on. Let me see.
Let's look at the away games. Well, the home games.
They're at Houston.
Okay,
so
who are the home games?
It could have been Jacksonville.
Okay.
Seattle.
All right.
I think it's got to be an AFC team this year, though.
I think so, but sometimes that they skip that and they'll do back-to-back NFCs.
Okay, so home teams this year: Buffalo, Tennessee.
No.
Jacksonville.
No.
That's your AFC home.
I believe that they'll come back with an NFC team. I believe it'll be the Bears or the Packers.
Okay. I do not believe it'll be the Packers because
that's right. Packers will last year.
I think it's going to be Packers at Lions, final game of the regular season.
Okay.
I am almost certain that is going to be the season
I got
finale.
the Thanksgiving Day game. Okay. You could look. It's the Bears. You could lock it in right now.
It might be.
I wish there was a bet I could put in right now that the Bears will be here on Thanksgiving Day. That's what the networks want. Caleb Williams and the Bears against the Lions. That's the game.
It could be.
That's the game.
I've got the Lions opening up at home on Sunday Night Football against the LA Rams.
Okay, I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But
dirty too.
But again, you look at the NFL schedule. I don't know. Maybe they'll put Ravens and Chargers there.
Now they're still figuring out who's the Chiefs going to be playing in Week 1, and we think it's the Chargers.
Could be Jim Harbaugh and the LA Chargers. That's a really good divisional matchup for them.
But Lions 49ers out the gate.
Well, it wouldn't be. I don't think they'll put Detroit on the road again.
Are we at 49ers?
At the 49ers again.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Detroit
give them some grace.
Detroit opened up on the road last year at Kansas City. I don't think they'll open up on the road again, but I could be totally wrong. I mean, I have obviously no idea of what the schedule will actually be.
I think you're right. Rams on the opener against the Lions at home Sunday night, and then the Bears Thanksgiving Day. And also here at Ford Field.
And that could be the case. I also do firmly believe if there was one game I would go to the grave on, it would be Green Bay at Detroit for the finale. Because Detroit has finished the season in Green Bay a couple of years ago. And I think this year they'll get Green Bay at home. Yeah. Last year they finished up with Minnesota. So it's a divisional game that you're going to be faced with. So
I like the Chicago Thanksgiving game. I think Maz is right about that. I think
that's a lot.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought that through a little bit more.
I think you're probably right about the Rams game as well, though.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a Twitter Premium, you could have went in and changed that. If you have Twitter Premium, you could edit that. Go edit your pick.
I don't think you can edit it after like an hour.
Oh no?
Yeah, no. You have like 1 hour to edit.
Gotcha.
But other than that,
I refuse to pay for one more thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's when I did pay for it, it was a lot of it was for the videos that you see, because if you don't pay for it, you could only put like, I think 90 seconds of a video. We had longer form videos that I was tweeting out before.
Gotcha.
I haven't done that in some time, but I do like the edit button and I do like the no character button. Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go around do you have a cap or no cap?
I got some cooking.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll do
I got
cap or
something
no
cooking.
cap next, and then we'll go around the
All right.
But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
That's right, everybody. What happens when you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. And that technology has been proven to work, and those people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent ya. We'll be right back.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazway. We got Mike here in the audio booth. We got Pete in the TD booth. How you fellas doing today? You good?
And how are you? Everything good? Yeah. Good interview earlier with Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims.
Thanks, man.
Top notch.
Appreciate that. Those guys are great. Mike, you good in there?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, good, man. All right, Braylon. It is a Wednesday. It is a Wednesday. That can only mean one thing. It is cap or no cap. And for our new audience, Braylon, for our new audience, this is basically true or false. But, you know, it is
2024.
2024, so we no longer say true or false. We say cap or no cap.
Cap means false.
Cap means false. Thank you, Tom.
You got it.
No cap means true.
Correct.
So it should be false true, really.
Correct.
Right? It should be
exactly.
Play it false true. Cap, no cap. All right, Braylon, you have the floor.
We talked about it earlier, so we'll start with this one. I guess you guys answered that one, but cap or no cap? Jalen Brunson is a better basketball player than Anthony Edwards.
That's cap. That's cap. I think Anthony Edwards is a better. If I'm starting my team,
yeah,
I am picking Anthony Edwards. Maybe I'm picking Anthony Edwards more than any player in the league. Even Victor Wembanyama.
Oh. How old are both men?
22 and 25.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
It's a really good question.
And the question that you spun it was, Anthony Edwards is better than Jalen Brunson?
He's a better basketball player than Jalen Brunson.
It's no cap. Anthony Edwards is the better player.
You are questioning that, Braylon. You are.
I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on the fence because I know that Anthony Edwards is going to be a better player. I know that he's going to be one of the elites. He's showing us something special. But in his current state, I think Jalen Brunson, the 2 national titles at Villanova, he's a little bit of league experience. He has a couple more years on Anthony Edwards, played in a couple more different systems. And then what you're seeing, I'm seeing a guy that understands the game, a little more cerebral in this way.
He is carrying the Knicks.
More developed. I mean, he's doing it kind of beyond it by himself. So I would say Jalen Brunson's a little better than Anthony Edwards in this particular moment. Now, obviously, I'm starting the team. I'm taking Anthony Edwards. That's my guy. But I would say Jalen Brunson's.
Yeah. In this moment,
man,
it's a hell
tough.
of a question. It's like trying to pick between kids.
All right, Pete, this one's for you. You started off. Tom Brady roast. Did they go too far, or are you cool with where the jokes landed?
Oh, I'm totally cool with the jokes landed because that's what a roast is all about, is to kind of, walk that tightrope and make the inappropriate comments appropriate, and I think that they did just fine. So for me, I'm all on board for that one, dude.
Raunchy guy. I like it. Ryan Ermanni, how about yourself?
Yeah, no cap. I think if you've ever seen a roast, that's what a roast is. That's why a lot of people are like, you really want to be roasted? If you're going to do a roast, you got to do it the right way. Otherwise, it's not a roast. You can call it something else. You can call it Tom Brady night on stage. Or let's
celebration of Tom Brady.
A celebration of Tom Brady. You can call it whatever you want, but you can't call it a roast. So I thought they struck the right chord for sure.
Maz, I already know what your answer is. You too believe they struck the right chord on that one.
Absolutely. The only people that don't like it is Gisele Bundchen and
Aaron Hernandez's fiance.
Well, Aaron Hernandez's her fiance, and I don't know.
Bridget Moynihan.
Bridget Moynihan as well. Other than that, that was fire. And you could inject what's her name? And I love her so much. Who's the female?
Kim Kardashian?
No. The comedian. I love her.
Nikki Glaser.
Nikki Glaser. She's, to me, she is the best. She could bust chops with the best of them.
I've got to bring this up. David Bakhtiari.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
You're good.
Oh, this is great.
So
this is great.
David Bakhtiari, the former offensive lineman, he might be a Hall of Famer, right?
I don't know about that.
He missed a lot of years.
Okay, missed a lot of years.
He was damn good.
He just left the Packers. He'll probably sign with the Jets, won't he? Do we think?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, one
more year.
This is what he tweeted last
This is fabulous.
night. Ready? Guys, just rewatch the roast again. I can confidently say Tom Brady has killed PC culture. He is our Jesus Christ. He pretty much socially crucified himself on Netflix Live for 3 hours while the world watched. He is a goddamn hero. We are healing. It's marvelous.
Oh my God.
And that is exactly
that is hilarious.
That's beauteous.
Whoever wrote that,
David Bakhtiari.
He has a ghostwriter. He out here like Drake.
He pretty much socially crucified himself on Netflix Live for 3 hours.
He's telling you, like, it's good to feel awkward. God. It's good to be an awkward moment. You haven't had these. Everybody's telling you what you can say, how to be empathetic, or how to. It gets out of hand. Like, watching that was kind of. It took me back a little bit, man. It was, man, this is cool. I can keep my feet up. Like, this is what's going on. Like, conversation, it was joke. And everybody was on board. Like, Bill Belichick was on board. Robert Kraft was on board. There wasn't any awkwardness, with the exception of Tom telling him, don't say it again about Kraft. But outside of that, everybody knew the assignment. They knew the mission, and they came to play.
What did Jerry Seinfeld say last week? He basically said said, we are crippled as a society. We can't even do a sitcom anymore the way they're supposed to be made. Can you imagine remaking All in the Family? Let's just say All in the Family. Seinfeld They were way over the edge many times, but they were fantastic in doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't make a sitcom like that because it has to go through too many hands to get through.
Yeah.
It's got to go through 5 or 6 different departments before it could get through to anything. A comedian can just get out there on stage and you have immediate reaction to know whether or not you've crossed the line or not. You have immediate reaction to know whether you're making people laugh or not.
Yeah.
And then you can pivot better than just about anybody in show business, right? You know?
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, Jerry Seinfeld's been talking about this. Comedians in cars getting coffee. I used to watch that when it was big, like 2018 or 19, and he just talked about just not being able to say anything. That's why he stayed away from comedy. That's why people aren't doing it. And here we are 5 years later. Seemed like your boy Tom Brady might have cracked the code.
And by the way, did you see what the rumor is that he's got paid?
I was going to ask you, how much did he get paid?
$30 million. That's the rumor.
Netflix.
That's the $30 million
to get roasted.
Because you ask yourself, why would anybody
voluntarily
for that sit up there and do that?
What really did they say bad about him?
Well,
they mentioned his divorce, and they mentioned him leaving his first girlfriend.
Maz, we can't take it when somebody in the chat says something bad about us.
That's true.
Okay, we can barely handle it.
Good point. Good point.
He got a little tight when they kept bringing up that jiu-jitsu teacher.
Oh, yeah.
He saw him bite that bottom lip was quivering a little bit. How stupid
what do you think Kevin Hart got?
I don't know.
If Tom got 30, then Kevin got 10? I can't see Kevin taking less, though.
Well,
because this is Kevin's space.
Yeah.
So maybe Kevin had
I think the hosts do get less.
He was just happy to be there.
Yeah. Well, not happy to be there. I think they get paid handsomely, but I think the hosts get paid less than the subject.
So who all got paid then?
I think
all the roasters.
Any of the roasters get something? They had to get something.
Yeah, I mean, they got something.
I loved it was at the Forum.
Yeah.
Not at the Staples Center. And I loved when Kevin Hart said, "Don't let me put on this, what is it, a black light?"
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part. I don't
in the
remember
beginning.
that part.
He's like,
he's like,
you know who was walking around here? It's Magic Johnson and Jerry Buss. There's been a lot of you know what going on in here at the Forum.
What's funny?
All right.
I guess I skipped over that one. All right, Braylon, continue.
SGA. Let me reverse that. They announced the MVP final 3 for tonight. It is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It is Nikola Jokic, and I don't know how Luka Doncic's name is also on that list. Those are your final 3. So my cap or no cap is this, and here how it's worded. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander deserves this MVP. Cap or no cap? Number 1 team in the West. It shows you around.
Man, you could say you could take those 3 players off of their teams, and they're probably not even playoff teams. Well, OKC might be the one playoff team.
No, Denver.
Oh man, Jokic is just.
Yeah, but also you got Michael Porter, who was a top 5 pick. You also have Aaron Gordon on that team. Like both those guys.
Aaron Gordon didn't do nothing in Orlando.
Well,
he
it's
didn't do
not
nothing before he got to.
But he's averaging 16 here.
He won the dunk contest
next to Jokic.
He's averaging 16. KCP, you got Jamal Murray, who's an All-Star as well. I mean, he can't find an All-Star form right now, but I just named 2 All-Stars.
I give it to Shea.
Yeah, I do too.
So you're saying no cap?
No cap.
Me too.
No cap.
How do you not?
What he's doing in OKC, it's crazy to think that OKC just completely revamped. Like, look how many people they got rid of.
Amazing.
They got rid of Kevin Durant. They got rid of James Harden. You get rid of Russell Westbrook. I think Paul George was there for a minute. You get rid of everybody, and somehow, some way, 2-3 years later, here they are.
The same year, Troy Weaver left them, and they got all those draft picks. Remember, they got like 50 draft picks.
Yeah. And they
turned him
something. Remember, everybody clowned him for having all the draft picks. Like, what are you going to do with all the draft picks and no players?
Then they draft Chet Holmgren. How you going to draft that skinny little guy?
When's the NBA draft lottery?
That's a good point. Probably in the next round.
If it's anything,
no, it's got to be like this week or next week.
If it's anything like the NHL lottery, I don't want to have it.
Yeah, NHL lottery sucked for the Red Wings again.
May 12th.
May 12th, Ryan.
May 12th, so that's Sunday night.
Saturday. Is it Sunday?
Sunday night.
It's Sunday.
Must be. What game is played Sunday?
It's Mother's Day. I know that.
Yeah, it'll be in between those games.
All right, here we go. Here's another one. Ryan's looking. Riley Green will lead the MLB in home runs. Currently, he's in third
Cap.
with 9.
Cap.
no.
Knicks pace. Oh no, it's Nuggets Timberwolves.
The way he's seeing those stitches right now, the seams. I don't know, man.
Cap.
Nah, that's definitely Cap. Shohei Ohtani's gonna end up with 50.
You should spin that question and say Spencer Torkelson will finish with 10 home runs this year.
Ooh, Spencer Torkelson will finish with 10 home runs this year.
Yeah, he'll heat up. I think he'll hit about 15 to 20.
And he hit 30 plus last year.
I know.
He is. I feel terrible for the guy.
Well, it's just like, I mean, you see all these guys just popping around the league. You know what I mean? Like, we got nobody's popping. You got Parker Meadows. He's
down.
Down. Spencer Torkelson.
Javi got an RBI today.
Yeah.
Sack fly.
Good
But,
for
RBI.
Counts.
It's like half. I'm half excited about that. And now to the Spencer Torkelson one, though, I will say
Torque just
that's
popped
Cap.
out.
Cap, he's not getting 10 home runs this year.
No?
No, he's gonna be in AAA.
Yeah.
He's gonna be down. He's gonna be down in the.
How about
minors.
this, Cap or no cap? Spencer Torkelson will be in Toledo by Mother's Day.
I think they would have
That's
sent
Sunday.
him down already. I think that's one of the things. I think
when they brought Velde or whatever.
Well, yeah, I think they said what's the general manager's name is
Scott Harris.
Scott Harris, yeah. Scott Harris said, or no, it was AJ.
AJ Hinch said he's closing in on sitting next to me.
Yeah, AJ Hinch said it doesn't serve him any purpose to go down there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's not
There's nothing he can do.
Yeah, nothing he can do down there.
He'll go down there and hit some bombs and have some hits and come up here and we still can't assess
right,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to send him down. So for a guy like Parker Meadows, it's not the same case. Yeah, it would benefit him.
Here we go. NFL questions get to the Lions. Terry Arnold, Detroit Lions pick this year. Terry Arnold will start day one for the Detroit Lions. That means the first game of the year, the home opener, Terry Arnold will be your starter. Cap or no cap? Ooh.
No cap.
No cap.
I was thinking about Vildor a little bit.
The one who the ball hit off his helmet?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, okay. Well, I'd say cap. The two, Meek Robertson and Carlton Davis are going to start.
Okay.
No cap. That
No
kid is
cap.
starting, and he ain't coming out of the game. He'll come out for a breather. But that kid wants to make a name for himself. He's going to be up for Rookie of the Year this year.
I like it.
Just like the kid that played for the Jets a couple years ago from Detroit.
Sauce Gardner.
That's right.
I'm going to go cap. And the reason I'm going cap because I think Ennis Rakestraw is going to be the starter this year with Fred Davis II.
Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis.
And Fred
II.
Davis.
What about a Meek Robertson?
I think he'll be the fourth DB. I think Terry Arnold will be your three. When they go 3 wide or 3 DBs, I think that nickel package is going to be Terry Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, and Carlton Davis II.
Interesting, man.
It's something in it. I'm telling you, I've been watching more and more film on Rakestraw. His knack for what the ball is, like his feet, his vision. He's physical as I don't know what. He's going to be a problem. I think he's going to be the starter. So
I hope you're right.
We all win in this situation.
I hope they both start.
That's right.
We all win in this situation. T-Wolves up 2 games. They will sweep the Denver Nuggets. I've asked you again, but it wasn't part of the cap.
Yeah, it's
cap or no cap?
I gotta, man. It looks like Denver's got no place to go with these guys, but I gotta believe they're gonna put up a championship effort in Game 3 and win Game 3.
I'm going to say cap as well. They got to. I like Denver in Game 3, but that spread you told me they're getting 4.5, and they are plus 165 on the money line, which means Vegas knows, man. Vegas usually knows, and they get suckers like me to bet on Denver. Denver's got to win this game. There's no question about it. Watch them get blown out again.
Right.
I'm going to say it's no cap. I think that they do get swept. I think the Timberwolves are going to sweep them. I understand that they can heat up. They are a championship team, but that's exactly why I think they do get swept. It's no way you're supposed to be this dominant team, this dominant player, and you look out of sorts like this. Not 1 game, Ryan, 2 games, and not on the road, at home. I just don't see. You got Mike Malone running on the court. He's arguing with the refs. Still can't believe he didn't get teed up.
They do feel like they're a little bit out of control, whether it's Jamal Murray or Mike Malone or.
This is a team that is imploding for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is. Maybe that Jeff Green's not on the team. Bruce Brown's not on the team. Those were guys that came off the bench last year, really gave them that boost. They don't have those guys this year. And I don't know where that guy is from Kansas, whatever his name is. I'm saying no cap. They get swept.
There you go. All right, guys. That'll be the last word on this. We will take a break. We'll go around the NFL and talk a little Tigers next. But first, a message from Wake Up Woodward.
That's right, everybody. Every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. mornings, right here on Woodward Sports Network, you can check out Wake Up Woodward with Matt Broder, Sam Flannel, Kool-Aid, JB, and Kenny G. Again, every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. mornings, right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, and that would be Woodward Sports. We will be right back.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Guys, Premier Pet Supply, hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, one right down in that NFL draft footprint in Detroit. They got it. Over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available. Curbside delivery as well. Give them a try right now. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. It's premierpetsupply.com.
We're watching the Tigers. Well, I'm watching it on the computer and the Gamecast.
And I got it on my DirecTV.
Look at these guys.
Tigers gave up a home run in the ninth. They're up 4-3. Andrew Chafin gives up a home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. Is like, come on, man. Up 1 run, solo homer.
Come on.
What are you doing?
They gave up 1 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th.
This road trip is really highlighted. Now, maybe they come back to win. We don't know. But, he's already given up a home run in the 8th. Well, he didn't give up a home run. He gave up a run in the 8th. But, take him out. That's on the manager, is it not? You give up a run in the 8th.
No, he didn't. He came in the 9th. He did not give up a run in the 8th.
Oh, he didn't.
He did not.
Oh.
And then, too, it's one of those situations.
That was Joey Wentz.
Okay.
It's one of those situations where you're watching it and you're saying you can't necessarily be mad at the bullpen because the bullpen's been there all year.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want him giving up home runs in the 9th. Obviously, the bottom of the 9th is terrible, but the bullpen has been on fire all year long, and the bats can't do anything for you.
They just took him out, by the way, with
So
2
a
outs in the
situation
9th.
like that, it sucks, but I'm not even overly mad at the pitching. It's like, hey, we've been here. We're trying. Like, where are your bats at?
I'm having a hard time with this Tigers thing. I am really mad about it.
Are we being too patient because Scott Harris is new?
He's talking about the TV.
I'm talking about the TV thing.
Okay.
Like the fact that I can't look up on my Comcast in studio and watch the Detroit Tigers is an absolute shame. And I really don't mean to like recycle topics, but I am legitimately kind of getting mad about it.
You pay top dollar for Xfinity.
Yes.
You pay top dollar. That's the most expensive cable in Michigan by far. They're good quality. Everything is good. The picture's good. The on-demand is good. The equipment is good, but you pay for it. And now for them to take away, they can't make a deal with Bally's. Come on, man. Give the people a break.
I did the 7-day trial on the Bally's.
Yeah, the app.
Yep. And then I'm just not.
You're not
paying
going
for
to
it.
an app.
I'm not doing it.
You're not.
But I tried it, and for me it just doesn't. It buffers. It like skips.
It's just not the same anyway.
No, it's not.
It's not the same.
I just I can't do it, guys.
That's why I told you to switch over.
We did a story, but my whole life is Comcast.
I get it. So was mine for 30 years.
Right, exactly. And
I said goodbye to him.
So in 20 more years, I'll say goodbye to him.
Okay.
But
now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just so bummed about it because usually you got the ball game on in your house, and now my kid's not watching the Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm not watching the Tigers. Just not. I was watching Three's Company last night on Logo for a little bit.
But do you have that's right, because you have Comcast. I'm saying Maz has a direct TV app, but you don't have that. You refuse. Yeah, and the Bally's app sucks, correct?
In my experience, it's not very good, and in a lot of other people's experience, it's not very good.
I mean, it's not very good.
It's
just not convenient.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like an app that would, and I don't want to trash Bally's or whatever, but it just doesn't seem like an app that would be good. It just doesn't seem like
I got something for you guys on our guy, Terry and Arnold. He was on a podcast yesterday. It's called The Next Round. And he goes on there and he's talking to these guys, and we're going to play it for you. And he basically said the Raiders called him right before they picked Brock Bowers at 13. And he found out they flipped a coin to see which player they would pick.
No kidding.
Let's hear it.
When the Lions picked you to get that moment on the stage with those Detroit fans was incredible to watch. I can only imagine how great it was for you.
It was amazing. I mean, all my teammates from Alabama, they were like, Kerryon would be the one to get drafted where the draft is at.
Yeah. I mean, how much conversation did you have with Brad Holmes and with Dan Campbell and with that organization?
I went on a visit there, and honestly, they told me, they said, you're one of those guys we have to trade up to get, but our paths may cross, and we don't think we'll be able to get you. And my agent, Nicole, she did a very great job of just she actually texted him that following morning and said, hey, it's a heavy O-line, receiver, quarterback, heavy offensive draft class, man. Y'all might have a chance. And then just from going back and talking to them, they knew that the Raiders it was a possibility that they took me. And actually, the Raiders coach, they called me after the draft. And they were like, we actually had a coin toss between you and Brock Bowers and landed on him. I was like, oh, wow. And then after the Raiders passed, they said, okay, we got to get up there before Jacksonville. So actually, Brad, he was like, they were trying to trade all the way up to 15, 16 to get me. So it's just one of those things where you go where you're wanted. And that right there, man, that fit. And as far as how the fans are, schemes that they run, and just even being around guys like J-Mo, Jameer, especially Brian, like, man, it was a dream come true for me.
Pretty good stuff.
How about those Raiders?
If you're the Las Vegas Raiders, that would scare the living daylights out of me if I was a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, you don't have enough conviction on how you want to build a team. You have to flip a coin, if that is true.
Al Davis is turning over in his grave. Trust me, for what has happened to his once proud franchise, the silver and black.
Remember what Rob Sims was talking about, with the Lions and Brad Holmes and intentional drafting?
Yep.
Like, every pick they make is made with intention.
Absolutely.
And when you talk about, we had to flip a coin.
Why would you even say that to anyone?
Right.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. You're talking about a team that has two players that they absolutely love, probably equally, and they flip a coin. Like, what's the difference in that being any other GM situation where you got two guys there that you really love?
Don't say it then.
I'll give you that. I definitely wouldn't say it, but shoot, you're talking about two guys that are going to start, they're going to ball, like the SEC guys, Brock Bowers, national champ, so is Terry Arnold. It's like, you can't decide. It's two great players. Like, what if we did that for Penei Sewell and Micah Parsons? Would have worked out in either case.
Yeah, it would have, but I would come back and say, at that time, though, you knew, or at least the belief was, that the Lions had a thought that they'd wanted to build their offensive line. Everything was going to start with the offensive line and branch out. So, do the Raiders want to play defense? Do they want to improve their red zone? What area did they want to improve upon the most?
They needed some stuff. They needed some offensive weapons, but just got rid of DBs, and they need some DBs as well. But
crazy, man.
I just wouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
You know what? If you're flipping a coin, that's fine, Bray.
Yeah.
You got two guys you love. One's offense, one's defense. Flip a coin, but don't go telling people. You look
now
like
you seem incompetent.
You look dumb.
Hey, did you guys see this Rasheed Rice?
I know, he keeps getting worse.
I didn't realize this was a different situation. Like, I see Rasheed Rice in investigation.
Instantly think about the car crash.
Yeah, I thought it was the car crash. But he's a suspect in an alleged assault that took place in Dallas at a Dallas nightclub. First of all, forget about the assault. What are you doing at a nightclub? I'm sorry. Like, after the car crash and after they're talking about suspending you for half a season, why are you at a nightclub? That's first and foremost.
Well, he's living.
I would be locked in my house if you are under investigation for your livelihood being taken away.
See, this is what happens when you don't have the right people around you. I got a DUI in New York in 2010. When I got the DUI, my mom was all over everything. I couldn't, I know I'm a grown man, but mom wouldn't let me go out. I wasn't going out to nightclubs. I was basically going to practice and coming back home. Like, you got to sit your you-know-what in the house. And you got to focus on the business and why you're here, the things that allow you to have access to the money and the parties and the tables and that you're getting. You got to sit at home. Like, you're about to, you've pretty much, if this comes out to be true, blown it already. Because you got the Kansas City Chiefs with this one situation already. They already know you're going to get suspended. They're already like, this is what's in. This could be it. And then you double down if the allegations are true. You got to pass on him. This man has just potentially put himself in a situation where his career is over. Because now if you're a team picking him up, he's already on his second strike, which means the next one's a 3. Why pick up a guy with 2 stripes?
Yeah, man.
It's
very
terrible.
sad.
It's terrible. Hey, can I do this a sidebar?
Please.
I know we're live and no one cares about the Tiger game on a tape delay.
Yeah.
Well, you know how you have a ghost runner in the 10th inning?
Yeah.
You got a guy on second.
What do you do? Get picked off?
It's Javi Baez on second. McKinstry hits a ball to short. Baez gets picked off at second.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He did not.
He did.
He did.
He did.
Javi Baez, like,
the gift that keeps on giving.
It's to the point now where it's everything is laughable. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, Spencer Torkelson, I'm still pissed at, but like Javi Baez, it's just funny.
Javi Baez is a veteran.
Getting picked off at second base.
2016 he won the World Series? I guess that is 8 years ago.
Right.
He's been on the decline.
I just can't.
How do you get picked off? $168 million a year to get picked off.
I got a story for you guys. Devin Funchess.
Okay.
We all love Devin Funchess,
Love
right?
Devin Funchess.
He's got a new deal. Guess what? He has become the first former NFL player to sign a professional basketball contract. You just talked about basketball players and football players. He signed with the Caribbean Storm of the Professional Colombian Basketball League.
Really?
Yep. Devin Funchess is going to play hoops in
First
Colombia.
of all, like, this is amazing. He can hoop. Like, Devin was cold in high school. He still plays basketball. I've seen some of the highlights. Like, Dev out here putting in work. But there's a bunch of basketball players that played in football players that played in college and could have played. And Jimmy Graham is one of them. Shoot, Detroit's own Antonio Gates. He played at Kent State. Like, was dominating. Actually got into the final of the NCAA tournament. So Tony Gonzalez is another basketball player. Cal, we got some guys.
There you go.
I got something else for you
Marcus
guys.
Pollard out here.
This goes to NBA. People around the NBA, Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated has put out, the watch is on for Chauncey Billups in Portland. They got rid of a couple of assistants. They're like rebuilding out there. Chauncey Billups could be let go in Portland.
I think Chauncey will be let go in Portland, and I think Chauncey could be like an absolute stud of a broadcaster. I think, especially with Amazon or
I was thinking Pistons.
What about coaching for the Pistons?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear the rumors about Monty Williams may not be?
Yeah,
you heard?
I wouldn't coach. I wouldn't coach this. I wouldn't coach the Pistons.
It's a death sentence.
Yeah, I don't think Chauncey Billups is. You get a second job in this league. I don't think you get a third job in this league. You know what I mean?
Ask Avery Johnson. You're right about that.
You know, I mean, I don't think you say yes.
Byron Scott.
And then you end up like Joe Dumars because people want to run you out of here.
Good point.
You know, I mean, I don't think that I would not coach the Detroit Pistons. This organization, guys, and I was thinking about this the other day. You know, when it comes like, oh, the Pistons will get the number one pick or whatever. This organization is not that organization that you know. This organization did not win 3 NBA championships.
Yeah.
This organization did not develop and sign and have all of those great players in the history. This is a completely different franchise. This is not that team. So I wouldn't touch it at all.
Not until we get a new owner.
Yeah, I mean, guys, Troy Weaver is still the general manager of this team.
Tellem is still here.
They have not made one move in the offseason. Not one. Like, back in January, I would say, you knew that you were going to need a total cleaning of the house. And you've done nothing, and you haven't played in a month.
Yeah.
What organization has ever done anything like this?
Remember they said they were going to do something big. Remember that was the word. We're going to do something big here.
Bring Red Hour back from the dead?
I don't know. But we're supposed to have a basketball president by now. It's bad.
Nobody's coming here. Nobody's dealing.
Where the
with
Pistons going to be drafted next week on next Sunday when they
They'll get the number one pick.
When they pull the ball. No, they won't.
Yeah, they'll get the number one.
No, they got the number one a couple years ago.
If you look at Cleveland got 2 1s. Minnesota got 2 1s. Detroit will get. San Antonio got 5 1s.
Cleveland, that was part of the LeBron deal.
Yeah.
It was all right. LeBron leaving.
And this is part of the
2-1.
Victor deal.
Okay.
They'll make it up to Detroit for not getting Victor Wembanyama.
I can see that, especially when there's no
really
number one pick.
Nobody out there.
Now, is that pick worth it to anyone else, Braylon? Let's say they get the number one.
Yeah.
Can they swap it to a team that might have their eye on a young kid that's already a good team?
Yeah.
That they could get a player from for that number one pick, a veteran player.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. But I would do it to the tune of like some players. And so it's like if a team that's ready and they don't want to give up players because they're ready, then I don't see a reason why doing a deal. If I'm the Pistons, I'm not giving up. It's not like the NFL where you give me I give you the one pick and you give me 4 and 7. And you still really do nothing. NBA is crazy like that.
Yeah.
Like picks just mean nothing. Like we're talking about the 4th and 7th pick not meaning anything. Shoot, we're talking about the number one pick not being worth it.
That's sad, man.
Yep. No doubt.
Hey, NHL draft lottery was last night.
Yep.
Detroit got screwed
The
again.
San Jose Sharks have won the number 1 pick. Look at these fans.
Look who's number 2.
I know, but look at these fans how excited they were.
Did you see who was 2?
Oh, we're going to put it back.
All 12 of them. That's why the camera's so close.
They're loud.
Yeah, they're loud. That's why the camera's so close, because there's only 12 people
Go ahead.
there.
Give me the top
Look who's
5.
number 2.
San Jose, Chicago.
Didn't Chicago have number 1 pick last year?
Yes.
Exactly. That's what I thought.
Detroit holds tight with the 15th pick in the draft. Guys, Tigers do lose in 10 innings.
They lost.
For the Guardians.
I'm still watching. It's 4-4. Man on third.
You got to work it. You got to work.
Oh, there's a base hit. It's over.
It's
over.
App.
That's
He
a
watched like
base
the
hit.
NBA in the 70s.
Breaking us out of here.
Why'd you have to break that to me?
Because he had to do
Well,
it.
I
man.
don't realize you're on the show. I mean, I don't realize you're on. I don't realize you're watching. I don't realize you're watching this show or the Tigers.
Well,
game.
that was a perfect way to end this show. Was Tom Mazaway, Ryan Ermanni. We are Ermanni and Edwards.
When am I going to see you again?
Friday.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
they're
playing in
getting
an
at
autism golf outing tomorrow to support the Kids on the Go Autism Foundation.
Can you just make a donation?
No, my
Okay.
my donation is my time and my money, by the way. But it'd be great.
it. We're out of here.
Love you.
Love you, kid.
See you guys tomorrow. Pete, Mike, great job out of you. Ermanni and Edwards from Maz. Anson Wells will be in tomorrow.
Braylon, you going to be here?
I'm always
All right.
here.
I'll see you tomorrow.
It's the Braylon Edwards Show with Ryan Ermanni.